All right, well, another day of problems on the Long Island Railroad, and they're providing no alternative transportation. The 316 train to Huntington has been canceled, and they're going to make us wait till 4:53. No alternative transportation. There's your alternative transportation waiting for you right there. $20 taxi to Huntington. It's pathetic. Thanks again, Patrick Nowakowski. So I was at Northport visiting a friend and got screwed up by this. So what happened was there was equipment trouble on the Port Jefferson branch. I would say around noon time, actually this train here is the one that broke down, the 1136 from Port Jefferson doing Hicksville, and then it was delayed east of Northport, so it got stuck east of Northport. And then that train winds up doing the 108 from Hicksville doing Port Jefferson, but it did not originate in Hicksville. Instead, customers from Hicksville will take the 1:26 p.m. to Huntington, but no alternative transportation was provided for this train. And then the 11:36 a.m. from Port Jefferson doing Hicksville continues to be delayed east of Northport due to ongoing equipment trouble. Long Island Railroad maintenance crews are at the scene. And then they wound up canceling the 108, and again, there was no alternative service being provided. The Long Island Railroad is unable to secure buses at this time. I love this line. Customers for points east to Port Jefferson are advised to find alternate means of transportation, which means you know what they're going to be taking. Taxis. The taxis love this. They can't even freaking get school buses. They can't get anything. And I think it's absolutely ridiculous. So let's see what some of the comments are, shall we? You should at least reimburse those people. You guys are unable to secure reliable service. What a disgrace. Yeah, I agree. It is a disgrace. It really is a disgrace. And then what happened was there was a suspension of service because the train was stuck in single-track territory. The Long Island Railroad is unable to secure buses at this time. And I don't know what happened to people on that train, but let's see what we got here. Customers unable to find buses at this time. You people lie and treat your customers like they are the dumbest people on earth. You mean we are unwilling to pay for buses? Yeah, they're unwilling to. They want you to take taxi. This is what's going on. Again, customers for points east are advised to find alternate means of transportation. What utter bull crap. What other bull crap that is. I just think it's ridiculous. So the 11:36 a.m. from Port Jefferson doing Hicksville has been canceled. That was the train that broke down. And then they had the customers will be accommodated by the 1:10 p.m. train from Port Jefferson doing Huntington at 1:56, making all combined stops. And its service had been restored on the Port Jefferson branch, but this is what screwed me up. I was going to take the 2:36 p.m. From Port Jefferson doing Huntington at 3:26. I think it was doing Northport around 3:17. And that was canceled. And then guess what? They're going to make you wait for the next westbound train. Will be 4:06, and that train is a crowded train to begin with, so it must have been super crowded. So what I wound up having to do in order to get from Northport back over to Huntington to catch the train, I actually wound up having to take a HART bus from East Northport, which is a HART bus that goes down Pulaski Road. I had to take that to it stops like 5 minutes from the Huntington train station. That's how I was able to get back. But what utter bullshit. What utter bullshit. I mean, this is like ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. It really is. Unable to secure buses. The MTA, somebody made a comment, the MTA is a whole fleet of buses. Let's take a look at that comment, shall we? If we can. Let's just take a look at it. So here we go. Services, this is from the Facebook. 2:36 was canceled. And they made you wait for an hour and a half for the next train. You couldn't get buses in that amount of time. Here we go. This is the temporary suspended Long Island Railroad alternative means of transportation, which means taxis for those who don't know the bus network. Luckily, at least where I was able to catch a bus. Some places don't have buses. But they don't care. They don't care. And I love this comment up here at the top. How can the Long Island Railroad be unable to secure buses? The Long Island Railroad is run by the MTA. The MTA literally has thousands of buses. Yes, but here's the thing. Mr. Andrew Cuomo doesn't want those buses coming out to Long Island. That's why we're going to have probably school buses this weekend on the Long Island Railroad for the Ronkonkoma work. It's the same thing. Because Cuomo is a buddy with Mangano. He is honoring Ed Mangano's agenda here on Long Island by keeping MTA buses away. So these private companies and these taxis can come and make money off of this. It's absolutely disgraceful. And we're back on the Long Island Railroad's Twitter because there's no mention of another problem that's going on tonight, and that is Amtrak switch trouble. I only got this in my emails. It hasn't been posted on Twitter or Facebook, but there are 5 to 10 minute, more like 10-minute delays on most trains coming out of Penn Station due to Amtrak switch trouble. So they only talk about the double track construction related to the double track project. So yeah, that is what's going on. So let's just see the comments. I bet you they'll be using school buses. Oh, here's a Babylon Branch complainer. My train should be arriving in Rockville Center in 5 minutes, and we are outside Kew Gardens with no announcements. What is going on? Well, they don't provide information. What about the delays on the Ronkonkoma line? They're all delays due to these signal or switch problems out by the East River tunnels, and that's Amtrak. But this is what's going on. So yeah, they just don't care. This railroad is a disaster, and it says right here. So on the weekends of buses will replace. We'll go back up here. We'll look at this. But it says on the weekends of March 3rd to 4th and March 10th to 11th, buses replace trains between Ronkonkoma and Hicksville to accommodate construction related to the Long Island Railroad's double track project. So it'll be interesting, but they probably will be school buses, and if there are, I'm going to show you what's there. This is what's going on the railroad. So as I conclude this video, I just want to let's take a look at let's take a look at the Three Stooges, shall we? All right, here are the Three Stooges. Well, you didn't think I was talking about the actual Three Stooges from back in the day, did you? No, not at all. Andrew Cuomo, Governor Andrew Cuomo, with his buddy Ed Mangano. They almost look alike. And, of course, Long Island Railroad President Patrick Nowakowski. And all these three people are connected. Cuomo and Mangano. Mangano is out of office and set to be on trial next month. But even though he's not in the county executive anymore, and even though he's on trial, Cuomo is protecting his interests by keeping MTA out of Long Island, MTA buses out of Long Island. They look alike. They look like they got money. They're a lot of cabbie owners. They're bribed and owned by the taxi companies, and that's why then the service goes down. They want to leave people stranded. Literally, thousands of dollars were made today by the taxi companies for all those stranded people. All right, and they're getting a kickback. Mangano's going to jail, hopefully, and I hope Cuomo, you're next. Andrew Cuomo, you need to be next. And I hopefully think that this is going to come out during Mangano's trial, that Cuomo will be next and wind up in jail. And then we have Patrick Nowakowski, who only cares about the Babylon Branch. Again, Cuomo likes Nowakowski. I'm pretty sure I told you this story, but when Cuomo took office, he told Helena Williams she's fired, gave her 1 day to get out of the headquarters, had security escort her out, and put in place Patrick Nowakowski because he's a buddy with Wall Street, and also probably gets kickbacks from the taxi companies, I bet, too. So that's what's going on with the railroad today. It was posted. Somebody commented that the track work last weekend, the reduction on the main line was due to switch renewal work at Urban Avenue Crossing. If that is the case, why wasn't the railroad? I believe it, but the railroad should have communicated that. They made it seem like it was because of the Harold work, not because of that. But again, communication is not Patrick Nowakowski's strong point. So that's it for this video on the Long Island Railroad today. Just a continued mess. People need to wake up. The news isn't covering it, but I am, and so is Matt Camper, so is Andy Randomness. We need to keep talking about this until all three of these people are out of our government. Take care.